Yeah, that purpose is what you were saying. Having that purpose and waking up, it's top tier, man. I hope everybody does get a chance to feel that because it's like no other. It's like finding out what your why is. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah, man. Because
life flows a little bit better when you got it.
for sure, you stop dreading the Mondays. Remember growing up, going to school. I didn't like Mondays. You know what I'm saying?
The bus, you feel me? Yeah.
But now you don't gotta. You're a grown adult. You don't gotta be in school no more. You can dictate how you feel about your life and what you do with your life, man. And try to. Once you know that you're not dreading Mondays and you might be looking forward to Mondays, you might be on the right track, man.
I agree.
Without further ado, is that the saying?
Yeah.
That's the first time I've used it. Without further ado, let's hop into these charts.
Yeah. SPY.
We're going to be looking at SPY. So
we
got
get this out
some
the way.
news. We're going to be looking at SPY for the last. Today is Wednesday, Tuesday, and Monday. We're on the daily chart. Each candle represents a day. You can see that we're in this zone, brother, between 767 and 762. We ain't really gone nowhere. Last week, we ended up having some bearish movement last week, but now we've been consolidating. But we seem to be ticking up to this upside. And let's see what happens at that 767 level, man. Let's see if we can hold above it or not. But, you got anything to say about this consolidation, the market moving towards the downside, and everything else that's going on in the economy just overall?
Yeah, we had that massive run up. Let me zoom out a little bit. That massive run up for weeks. It was like, what was it? It was like 2 weeks. It wasn't weeks, but it was like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. And these moments in the market are extremely necessary just off the simple fact that if it was always going up, you know what I'm saying? If a stock or SPY in this case were be going up all the time, you kind of would just be anticipating that downtrend, right? So that's not where we're necessarily at, but we are in a place where we got to kind of have that balance within the market and the charts, and so that's just where we are right now. We got a lot going on. There's a lot still to go for the remainder of the year, and moments like these are like the planning mode. Let's call it that. This is It's a time where you can get in, see where you can get in. You know what I'm saying? See what the market is giving you actually, and not jump to conclusions and try to hop in somewhere and potentially get burnt. This is a time for you to think and sit down and be like, hey, where are we? And we're in between this range currently right here.
Right, and like we talk about the market moving in cycles. This is why it's important not to buy at the high. We have a run up. You're gonna have to have a cycle where it has a breather. Especially after we ran up. You guys been watching. That's a 6-7% run up since July 26th. But let's go even further down, because what I'm really talking about, we've been running up so much. I thought that's the starting point of the 20% run up from April. We've been running up so much, we end up having a downturn, and then you end up running up some more starting in June. So if we end up having some turmoil coming up, especially with the midterms, don't be surprised.
Yeah.
But also, you got to be ready to execute, because anytime we do have a downtrend, something that we've noticed is that it don't last long at all.
Especially this year for sure.
This year, you might end up moving down 10%, 15%, but it's not lasting a couple weeks. It's only lasting a couple days, and then you're just trickling back up.
Yeah.
So if you're not taking advantage of it, even with the stocks, man, you got some stocks who end up, just staying stagnant for a little bit, but more often than not, man, they hit those lows, they moving right back up. We got some news to talk about, man. July's PCE, right? Personal consumption expenditures, right? It's basically like we've talked about before, the rate of whatever it is that our goods are at, our goods and our services, and the interest rates on that. So this index rose 3.7% annually. So this was a little bit higher than last month since we talked about it. It topped consensus by 0.1 percentage point, while core PCE, which is excluding things such as food, and energy. This held at 3.3%, exactly line in with expectations. So, to sum that up in the easiest way possible, inflation hasn't been rising on our whatever it is that we've been spending. You know, it hasn't increased in the last month, right? It's stayed stagnant, or it has increased just by a little bit, right? You got anything to say about that?
I can't tell.
You know, everything. You know, they trying to make it sound good, but things is high. You know, personal income grew by 0.5% for the month, while spending increased 0.2%. Both stronger than forecast. The broader personal income and outlays report showed that the savings rate ticking up to 3% from a 4-year low. So they saying personal income is growing a little bit during this time. But then we got Bitcoin, man. Let's talk about the Bitcoin, because right here, Bitcoin went above 80,000 on Tuesday, and that's the highest level it hit since May, right? With the rally tied to renewed interest in the debasement trade after the Treasury announced plans to increase long-dated bond purchases. Yeah. So break this down for us, brother.
You said it perfect right there, man. The United States is using. What I didn't know was they have a basically like a checking account that has $1 trillion in it.
Okay.
The government. It's bizarre to me. We're $40 trillion in debt. They're going to be using that to restabilize the market, essentially, right? And so, yeah, Bitcoin shot up. I think that it was, I don't have the percent off the top of my head, but let's just say the middle of this range, bottom tick, 30%, man. 30%. And what I'm thinking is, this is just, what would you call that if you knew something was happening and it's a good thing, right? And people know it's a good thing collectively, but it doesn't mean anything though. Like, it's a good thing that's happening, but it's like, okay, whatever. Yeah. That's what I think. This is what this is. What would you call that? Like, I feel like there's a word for that.
Man, I don't got the word for that off the top.
It's not like FOMO, because it's like, you know what I'm saying, you're not missing out. But anyway, I think this is a good fake out right here, bro. I think this is what I'm thinking is, there was a lot of liquidity down here, a lot of short positions that started down here, and I think that a lot of people got liquidated. And it forced people to come up. And so with all of that happening, people are making money off the people that thought it was going to short, because for the past 2 weeks, I've been saying that this area here is untapped. Yeah. There's a lot of options plays for the Bitcoin, the ETF, and a lot of people got liquidated, bro. So there was money being made off of these people thinking that they, you know what I'm saying? They were capitalizing it. Yeah, that's on top of the buyback. People are getting liquidated, so it was another way to make that cheese for real.
And that's a lot of weeks of us just, you know, first we've been going down to the downside, but then we got this is a lot of weeks of consolidating.
Exactly.
I've been saying it every week. You guys better appreciate the fact that we've been breaking down this Bitcoin when it ain't been doing nothing, because at some point it's gonna do something. Right, you get these weeks of not doing anything. This is a prime example of where you should buy quality assets. When you see this on a quality asset and it's consolidating like this, that's where you want to get in at, because you know the next cycle is more than likely to the upside. Man. So that's 30%. So you're saying that this is a little fake out, right? Yeah. You're saying you asked at the time, I didn't think I had a word at the top of my head. But maybe this fits like the propaganda category.
You see what I'm saying? Because everybody has that stigma around Bitcoin itself, but crypto, right? Crypto is still a speculative asset. That being said, when we have rallies like this, everybody hears about it, right? Not to say that necessarily matters for the price, but what it does play into is how many people are getting into it when they hear about it, right? A lot of people that don't have experience within the market will have no problem with buying right here, while it was sitting at this range for Up 2 months. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Almost 3 months. Where price is sitting below 60,000, right at 60,000, hitting the low of 58,000. What is this right here? Let me make sure. Yeah, about 57,000, right? So we have people that are buying at the top, and it is just like you said, propaganda. Like, I think this is one of those fake out moments. We got. I think the midterms are going to be so crucial this year. Mm-hmm. I think everything that is happening today has everything to do with the midterms, because there's going to be something. It's going to be a shaky market in the next 2 months.
Yeah, and rightfully so, man. We gotta get some breathing and some moving going around in these markets, because it's been looking. The economy isn't looking as rough, but they found a way to make this stock market continue to go up. It's not going, that's not going to crash.
Yeah.
But this economy is crashing right in front of our eyes.
Right.
And this stock market is the only thing that's holding us afloat, really. So you don't think that this run up holds on Bitcoin?
Not this one. Mm-hmm. I feel like there will definitely be some sort of catalyst that will put Bitcoin in a spotlight that is not this one. Mm-hmm. I feel like this isn't the real run up. 30% in basically in 2 days. Let me go to the daily. Basically, okay, so not 2 days, but over a course of a week.
Yeah.
30% run up. It is crypto at the end of the day, but that's not really likely. Remember, over the past, looking at these chart here, we go to the weekly. Over the past consecutive weeks, there's not even a point to count this. This is what month is this? October?
Yep.
All the way to now. This is down, what was it, like 58%? What was it, 59% from the top? Come on, bro. At the very low, 54%, right? Uh-huh. This happens in weeks. This 30% happened within a week, 1 week. This happened in a span of 10 months.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like,
and you're only a couple thousand away from a prime resistance point, that 82, which is
resistance
where we rejected last time.
Exactly.
So for anybody, this is why you don't want to buy at the highs. This is why it's important for you to read the charts, because if you think that Bitcoin's 30% up and you're looking at the news, you'll probably be putting more money in there, and then you lose more money on the way down. You know, the asset is important, but where you buy the asset matters as well.
Exactly.
So if you would have got in here, that's great. That's a great price. You know what I'm saying? You get the benefit from this. And even if it comes back down lower, you get to add more and benefit again. But for anybody who missed out on it, don't get to buy it here. Just use that as conviction for when it comes back down here. You can participate in the next run up that's really going to last, like Flash is talking about. And from what we can see right here, you're at 57,000 at the lowest of the low. And for you to get back up to the high, that's another 120% to 126,000.
Crazy.
So where the price you got buy at matters. You but what the other cryptos looking like, man? You got the XRP.
XRP.
Right here.
Yep. XRP hit a nice high as well.